Hi, it's Tara. I'm back with another video, and this time I thought I would concentrate on something purple. Yeah, so this is my purple glass straw, purple flower, and also, yeah, so I'm going to share some perfumes from my collection that kind of summon up the word purple. They're kind of like kind of sad and damp, some of them. So let's get started. So when I think about the word purple, I mostly think of violets and a little bit of iris as well. So I have some really awesome perfumes that kind of feature the violet that is in a less candied way and more of in a sad Sally crying by the river way. And yeah, so one of them is this. Okay, let's start with the least powerful one and then kind of work ourselves up. So this one is the cheap and cheerful. Well, not cheerful. This is like a sad Sally crying by the river. This is DKNY Be Delicious. This is one of the apple lines. So this has apple in the top notes, but then it has like a sad violet in the middle notes. It's slightly powdery, very light, and kind of gentle, and you know what they say about the shrinking violet, kind of like that. It's not like one of these perfumes where you kind of like walk in the room and be a boss lady. This is kind of like your shy little Sally sitting in the corner type perfume. Because I'm a total introvert, and I totally understand that. Yeah, this is kind of like my kind of perfume, actually. So this is Flower Pop. This is, like I said, apple, kind of like, it attempts to be kind of cheerful and bright in the upper registers, but then once the violet leaf hits, it's all like shy little girl down down in the lower registers. It's slightly powdery too. So this one is super cheap. I just bought it because I like violets and I was on a violet kick, and also it's really cute. The liquid itself is like violet colors, so I like this. It's like very soothing. Okay, another cheap and cheerful one is this, and this is from my travels in Spain. So I went to Seville, and they have this this, for some reason they have these imitation perfume places that are like kind of like chains. This one is called Tertia Sensu. So I think tertia means like fourth or fifth, don't quote me on that, sense. So this maybe the sense of smell. So basically this one I bought as a refill. This was only like 10 bucks or something like this, but this is like a violet soliflor. So this is totally sad sack violet to the core, and very super cheap. All I have to do is find like a bottle for it. So what you do is you cut this with scissors and then upend it into one of those into like a spray bottle, and then throw this temporary bottle away. So yeah, so this is my Spanish wet violets soliflor. Okay, so let's go up to this. This is one of my most recent purchases, and this is because I have heard things about it on Fragrantica, and this one I remembered from the, what is it, 90s or something like that, or 2000s. This was like a Paco Rabanne's Ultraviolet, and I remember liking it when I was young, but I was never really into like violet scents when I was younger, because I guess I didn't appreciate it. And this shape is also like really similar to the Donna Karan one, but this is really beautiful looking liquid. Look at this. This liquid is super ultraviolet. So yes, look at this. Oh my gosh. This is like showing like a ring light in this really cool manner. Wow. Never saw this before. But anyways, yeah, so this is Ultraviolet by Paco Rabanne, and and it's like a really weird kind of chaotic smelling violet. So this is not straightforward violet. It has like other stuff like rosewood, apricots, osmanthus. So it's on the little bit more sour side, and then it kind of becomes like a soft powdery violet. To me, there's like something about it that's a little bit like mechanical. I mean, it is in this like super modern looking thing, and this was like kind of considered very striking packaging back in the day. So this is like metal, and then this part is like soft and rubbery, and then this part is like this cool glass part. So yeah, this is kind of like futuristic and kind of like sterile. I don't know, it's really weird. So you have your woody parts, you have your osmanthus, you have all this like apricot-y stuff, and then you have the soft violet undertones. So it's slightly creamy too, and it's a little bit comforting and slightly powdery and a little bit sad. Yeah, it's an interesting perfume. It costs like very little right now, so I thought it couldn't hurt to sample it. I wouldn't call this my favorite though, but you know, for the amount that I got it for, who cares? You know what I mean? It's just it's a little bit interesting, but I wouldn't say that the violet is the most standout part of it. In fact, I wish it was a little bit more violet-y. But anyways, we're coming up to the good ones, and these two are some of my like the next several are some of my favorite type violet in a wet scent. This one is the much lamented Paris by Balenciaga, and this is like the flanker to the regular Paris. The regular Paris is also a super nice violet. That one is in the white crackle top cap, and it's in the clear bottle. That one I have 30 mils, and I have it at work. That one is like the sparkling candied violets. It's really, really lovely. And I'm so glad that they call it Paris, because when I think about Paris and I think about scents, I do think about powdery violets as the scent that represents them, and also raspberry as the fruit that represents like Paris. And also, if you think about dessert like or snacks, I think about the macaron, those like fluffy sandwich cookies. That to me is the cookie of Paris. So I don't know. But anyways, I love this, love this. It is just like the glass in this, the bottle and glass. It's like a moody kind of overcast, atmospheric iris, and this is like, to me, like one of the best irises. It is not bitter, so it's a great like balance. It's got violet leaf, and it's got like watery scents. It's almost like you're in a forest by a river, and you can smell the forest. You can smell the violets in rain. It's like misty and rainy. So I really love this. This is like maybe Paris, or the Paris park in the winter. And this is like so beautiful. It's like very romantic and moody, and yeah, both men and women can wear it. Although the iris has a slightly sweeten the iris. This has a little bit of sugar in it, just like the Paris has a little bit of sugar in it. And that Paris one is more feminine and more bright and happy and daytime, whereas this is like overcast day. You know how like Paris in the winter and Paris in the rain, it's just like it conjures up a very romantic, kind of slightly chilly and cozy type of like feeling. And you're at home, you feel like kind of a little bit moody. You're not happy, you're not enthused, but you know, it's like in that moody romantic way. And I love this gradiated glass. This is exactly how it looks and feels. I wish they had not discontinued this. This is like a masterpiece, and I'm kicking myself for not buying a larger bottle, because if you see, I have a good dent in it, but I'm slightly afraid to use the rest of it because I don't want it to go off, because I think the more liquid you have in a bottle, the the less likely it's about to go off. But the thing is, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, this is one of my favorite violet, wet type of earthy scents. The other one is this. This I had to kind of jump through hoops for, and I'm kind of mad at myself. This is Le Labo, and this is, so it comes in this really heavy, God, I hate that thing. It comes in this really heavy, like, metal, like, container, travel spray container, and it's this. This is also something that I'm really pissed off that Le Labo discontinued, and this is Iris 39. So a 39 is the amount of ingredients or notes or something like that that they use to make this perfume. So the higher the amount of number behind it, the more ingredients they use. This one is supposedly an iris, that's what they name it, but Le Labo is famous for naming something one note, but then having like a really dominant second note as the actual star of the show. And to me, this is an iris that is very, very sad violet. And I remember the first time I bought this and tried this on. I have another one of these. These are very small. I think this is 10 milliliters, and I have another 10 milliliters that is almost used up. This one is not 100% iris. This is mostly sad water violet, and it's like the most incredible, like, violet, moody violet, but it's even more watery than the Balenciaga one that I'm talking to you about. It has no sugar. It has no sweetness. It's like a wispy water running through a stream, crystal clear, cold stream running through an iris in violet field with like earthy tones around it. It is really, really spectacular. And it's kind of elusive. It's like one of these, like, if it was a painting, it would be a water painting. You know what I mean? It doesn't have a hard, crunchy structure. It's like mostly water. And it just gives you this feeling of like water, icy cold, violet-y water running throughout your whole body. That's what it feels like. And I'm kicking myself that when I went to Paris, I did not buy a full big ass, like a gallon of this, because I did not realize it at that moment that Iris 39 was actually discontinued, and the only place that you could have bought it was at the main store in Paris. And yeah, so I don't know why they're phasing this out, because this is, to me, a masterpiece. It could be, is it because it's got like 39 freaking ingredients and, you know, it's too expensive to make? I mean, I hate to say this, but they were bought by like Estee Lauder. So when these small perfume companies that, you know, get bought up by like larger companies and they want it to be profitability usually means they want to get away with using as little ingredients and as cheap ingredients as possible. And the Iris Oris is generally very expensive to make, so especially the non-synthetic type. So I mean, I really don't think, of course, they use orris butter or anything like that, but this one that they had and the one that I had from years ago was actually super high quality. So if you can get your hands on this, then go for it. I was kind of mad because I bought this from Harrods overseas, and that this was like the last one they had of this, and in their description they had written it up as a set of 3 of these, but when I got it, it was a set of 1 of these in that metal container thing. So I was really upset, and by principle, I should have returned it and got a refund, but really, because it's like one of the last ones of this that I can find, I just kept it. So anyways, I'm glad I have 2 of these, but of course it's going to be used sparingly, given my hoarding tendencies. I don't want to be without this in the future. I shouldn't be so pessimistic, I guess. You know, I'm pretty sure they'll come up with, some other company will probably come up with something similar. But, okay, so I'm kind of moving away from the violets specifically, but these are also like cold, wettish, damp, foresty scents that have something like an irisy feel. And this one is also, I think this has violets, although I'm not sure, but this is for sure like a damp, like silvery, like steely, kind of cold forest floor type perfume. And this is in a gorgeous like metallic spray, and this is the beautiful and now sadly also discontinued Iris Silver Mist, the legendary Iris Silver Mist from Serge Lutens. And yes, I am a dumbass as well for not buying the bell jar when it was available. Now, of course, it can't be had, and it was sold out even when I went to the flagship store in Paris. So luckily, I was able to snatch up this 30 ml travel spray. Yes, 30 ml travel spray. Who the hell makes 30 ml travel sprays? I have 3 of these babies, and this one I think might be the one that I used the most, but I used all 3 of it. So they all have dents in it, but this one probably has the biggest dent. And yes. So I am also deadly afraid that this will get used up in my lifetime. So I'm hoarding it as well. But this one, you cannot believe where I got this and what price I got it at. I got this baby, all 3 of them, for like 30 something to 40 bucks on FragranceNet. This was during the time when Serge, like 10, 15 years ago, whenever, that Serge Lutens was phasing out their old bottles and going into the new bottles, because I think they might have also been bought by Shiseido or something. And the market was flooded with their, you know, all the old style stuff and all these weird travel sprays and stuff like that. And of course, back then, nobody in America, except for a select few perfume connoisseurs, really knew anything about Serge Lutens. And back then, FragranceNet also did not charge tax for California. And they were not as popular and not as well known. So when I saw this, I snatched this baby up ASAP. And I snatched up 3. I should have snatched up 4 or 5. But anyways, at that time, I didn't want to, because I wanted someone else to have the opportunity to also get this as well. So, you know, I'm altruistic that way. But anyways, this is like one of the most amazing iris perfumes I've ever smelled in my life. And this is not your powdery, ladylike, gentle iris. This is kind of like a steely, cold iris. Although I do have to say, I mean, it's very rooty. It's very it's damp. You know, it smells like damp vetiver roots, herbal, not herbal, but you know what I'm saying? Silvery, watery, cold. But at the end, though, I was really surprised. At the end of all of that coldness, slightly powderiness, a little bit of spice. Yeah, it smells like cinnamon or cloves or something. There is something spicy in here. At the end of it, there is benzoin. So benzoin gives it a slightly airy, sweetish, ambery touch at the end. So this to me is like the total masterpiece. And I'm so glad that I'm able to snatch it up. I do have to say that I found something similar, but it's not 100% the way this is, but it's similar, although it's a little bit more powdery and less damp, but it's also cold and a little bit rooty and earthy, is called White Rabbit from Sonoma Scent Studio. And so I found that by going through I think Instagram. Yeah, Instagram. They were the person who does like the Sonoma Scent Studios, she had advertised a monthly special limited edition set, and this was called White Rabbit, like from the Alice in Wonderland. And oh, I wish I had it with me. I have it at work, but it's beautifully presented in a forest green box with the tag on it, and it's like a gorgeous whiter version of this, whiter, slightly more powdery version of this iris, but it's in the same vein. So, I mean, maybe if she would think about redoing that limited edition or making it like special orders and things like that for people who might want to have it, that White Rabbit is very good. I mean, super good. I would say it's like second to this. This is still slightly number one, but that other one is also amazing. This one you can't have anymore, as far as I know, unless you're probably willing to buy like super high prices online or something. But the White Rabbit, you know, the perfumer is still around, and I think she still she controls her own, like, you know, her own destiny, kind of like, so she might be willing to do it. So I'm hoping she does, because I feel like there's no reason why to limit edition stuff. I mean, stuff get used up. I know it makes things more precious, but really, it's not like a painting, you know, where you can just look at it. This gets used up. So making it limited edition, whereas it seems nice, it doesn't make sense in the long run, because the people that really want the scent again, they're not going to be wanting to use it, you know what I mean, if they can't have a guaranteed backup of it. So anyways, that's just my 2 cents. So I'm going to get to 2 of my favorite ones, and these are damp, earthy ones. And this one is De Profundis, also by Serge Lutens. I have a special affinity for Serge Lutens. And the first time I bought De Profundis was because I had been wanting to experience the chrysanthemum note. And very, very few perfumes, you know, have chrysanthemum. And when you smell chrysanthemum, it smells also, it's like a version of the Sad Sally version. So I guess maybe that's why it's like a funeral type flower. It has like a damp, it's not powdery like violet. It's not purple like violet. It has a damp, like kind of sweeter, wet grass feel to it. It's almost like, you know, it is kind of sad in a way, but I find it really, the scent is really thrilling to me. I really like wet scents, and to me, wet scents are kind of hard to find in perfumery. And anytime I smell anything that is like water-like, that is not fake water, but really conjures up the scent of water, I get so intrigued. So De Profundis has that sad, like chrysanthemum top notes, and has soil. It has like you know, other stuff, but in the end it has actually a more solid background. So the end is like a solid kind of inky base, and I think that the perfumer Christopher Sheldrake, or whoever did this for Serge Lutens, actually they put a twist in here. So it's not all just sad. At the end there's like a sharpish twist that it kind of allows it to linger on the skin a little bit longer, but I love this one. I also have the bell jar, and I had to shell out big time for the bell jar. That was like a used one that I bought off eBay, but ever since I saw these De Profundis showing up on Fragnet, I snagged one up for a really good price. So this one is also one of these very obscure ones that, you know, Americans don't know about, because for a long time it was not available online to Americans. So when I first bought the bell jar, it had not been, but now that I think it is. It's also one of the more, like, people like to say this is kind of like gothic. I don't know about that, but anyways, this is very atmospheric. And yeah, if you like unusual wet notes, the chrysanthemum is really cool in here. Do check it out if you have a chance. Okay, so now we're gone to our one of my most favorite of all time, and this one has been a favorite ever since my early 20s, when I first wore this. And had gotten a sample of this. This is Cristal by Chanel, and this is the Eau de Parfum. So I tend to like the Eau de Parfum a little bit better than the Eau de Toilette, because it has more body. And this to me is like an amazing, well-balanced perfume. So it is at its core a very cooling forest nymph type of perfume. It's almost like you can feel the, you know, you can feel the sprites or nymphs running around barefoot through the forest in the early dawn, you know, there's mist on the grass, there's roots, you know, they're stirring up the soil. It smells like forest floor, and it has melon, it has peach. So the strange thing is, on my skin, the melon and peach are just like kind of rounding anchors that keeps it from being too ephemeral. It kind of grounds it, but what I really smell is like silvery water, mist, and ground floor. This is like really astonishing, and it's cooling, and it just smells outstanding. So the weird thing is, I actually wore a sample of this, and I had not given this like two thoughts. I mean, when I was young, I despised Chanel. I especially hated Chanel No. 5, because I think most people, when they're young, they despise that aldehyde smell. They do not like, you know, powder smell, because I think it makes them think of their grandma or something like that, or people that wore a lot of powder tend to be like more on the elderly side, and young people like to have like fruity, sweet, freshies and stuff like that. So yeah, that's Chanel No. 5. So because of that, I tended to hate all Chanel stuff, because I thought it was all in that vein. It kind of looks like it might be, because if you look at this box, it kind of looks like kind of stuffy and upper class. Although the silvery, you know, detail on here is like kind of lightens it up a little. But anyways, this one, I wore a sample of it to Hawaii, because I had stuffed it in my backpack and I found it. And in the humidity and the heat, it really bloomed, and I began to really, really love this. I mean, it really is like not Hawaii whatsoever. It doesn't conjure up Hawaii, but because I wore it on that trip, it changed my mind on this. And this is my second bottle, and I had it's a hard time to find Cristal in regular department stores, because it's not popular. They would sell all the other stuff like Chanel Chance and all Coco Mademoiselle, and you know, all that stuff, even Chanel No. 5, of course. But a lot of places will not have Cristal anymore, because this is not the star of the show. And I think a lot of people don't know how to appreciate this. To me, this is the epitome of like sophistication to me. This to me is kind of like not the brash Chanel like purse looking, like look at me, I'm wearing Chanel type feel to it. Which I think like maybe the Chanel No. 5 kind of conjures up that type of feel, or Coromandel kind of conjures up that feel. This to me is like the sophisticated, introverted sister who is like kind of like, not Art Deco, but what do you call that? Art Nouveau. This to me is Art Nouveau perfume. This to me is nymphs, it's fawns, it's like vines, you know what I mean? Type of greenery, light violets. This is like amazing to me. And this is like one of my signature scents, Cristal. So I also like the Cristal, like Vert and all this other stuff, but really the Eau de Parfum is my favorite. And this particular bottle, I was able to get it for a really good price. So first of all, I was at the airport in Paris coming back to America, and it was harrowing getting through the customs and everything like that. It was like just total chaos there. So by the time we got to our gate, I was just sitting there and I was like exhausted because I had come back from a 3-week trip through Spain and Paris. And, you know, I thought to myself, you know what? I should do one last look, you know what I mean? So this gate was like far away from all the stores. So the one place closest to us was this, it's like a kiosk that sold multiple perfumes. It was not a Chanel special kiosk or anything. So it had a huge wall of all these perfumes, and immediately my eyes was drawn to this. So I bought this, and the lady was outstanding. She said, oh wow, if you buy this, you get 15% off, and also because it's bought at the airport, it was duty free. So I got this duty free and 15% off. So yeah, can't beat. I probably saved like, you know, 30 or 40 bucks on this. So I'm very happy that I have this as a backup. My other one is used up to like halfway. So I had been also hoarding that as well. So thank you so much for listening to this long rambling video, and have a great day. If you like this, please like and subscribe. I'll be back with another video. Thank you. Bye.